Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, worshippers of all ages, welcome to YouTube. My name is SeaRaptor, and today we're bringing you a first look at Tier 8 Italian cruiser Amalfi. Now, as we continue to head up the Italian cruiser line from the previous videos, we are now crossing firmly into the realm of paper ships. I do not believe this ship was ever constructed. I don't even believe it was ever even laid down. I couldn't even begin to tell you what it was based on. I'm sure out there somewhere is somebody with more pasta boat knowledge than I have that could tell you all of these things. But I do know this ship was never actually constructed or finished. So let's start at the top. Survivability, 42,800 points. This puts her pretty high up on the high end of heavy cruisers for the tier. A little behind Hipper and slightly ahead of Baltimore. So very, very comfortable, competitive, there we go. Competitive health pool for the tier. That 19% torpedo per damage production, by the way, best in tier. Best in tier. Take a look at her armor layout. She has very, very good armor for the tier. This is retaining that 150mm belt we saw on Zara and that 30mm upper belt that we talked about. So just like Zara, she kind of stands out here at the tier. The 150mm main belt is not quite best in tier. She loses out to Baltimore there with 152mm. But that 30mm upper belt is something you still generally do not find on other Tier 8 heavy cruisers, and it definitely makes her even more of a predator against a lot of the light cruisers that she's going to encounter. Her extremities and deck armor are 25mm throughout, but she also does come with something that Zara doesn't, a 50mm strake in her bow armor that runs along the waterline all the way to the bow. Now, this is not as nice as the same strake you'd find on, say, Tier 10 Russian cruiser Moskva, because Moskva's strake extends up well above the waterline, all the way to the bow. Amalfi's doesn't do this, right? However, it does mean that she may be able to bounce the odd battleship shell when bow onto something, depending on how it lands. In other words, if it comes in and it hits this 50mm bit rather than the 25mm soft bits above it, well, chances are you'll bounce that off. There's a notable increase in Amalfi's firepower forward, right? The way this armor is laid out is notable because most of her firepower is concentrated up forward. We see here we've gone to triple turrets now, 2 forward and 1 aft. She packs an extra 203mm rifle over Zara. And this configuration is one that fans of, or comfortable people who are comfortable playing Baltimore or Charles Martel or whatever are used to this gun layout, especially at this tier. The other improvement over Zara is the caliber of the 203mm guns. She goes from 53 to 55 caliber long, with a further improvement in shell velocity. They're now 910 and 950 meters per second. These things are going to be nasty. I cannot wait to be able to put this ship on live and try out these guns. The 16-second reload is worst in tier, but I think that's honestly okay for now until they start to see how the impact of the SAP is, what that's really going to look like in the wild. The AP on these things is going to be brutal. The SAP, like I said, I think they're just hedging their bets. One thing that feels really awful, look at that main battery range, 15.3 kilometers. This is pure garbage and is easily worst in tier. Every single light cruiser at Tier 8 has more range than this. I have no idea what the deal is, but it almost feels like they got the range of Trento and Amalfi backwards or something. I can't understand it. Otago and Wichita are the only other Tier 8 heavy cruisers with a range this bad, and that's a balancing thing, right? Because those two ships are also the stealthiest heavy cruisers at Tier 8. Stealth, by the way, is a problem that Amalfi does not suffer from here with a 14.4 base surface detection. This is, again, worst in tier, edging out Hipper for that honor. Hipper is 14.2. I have no idea what's going on with these range and detection values. Something just feels really, really, really borked here. One area that Amalfi does not trail in is her speed. 37 knots of top speed. She is unquestionably the fastest Tier 8 cruiser by a full 4 knots. Her ability to reposition, control engagement ranges is unmatched by anything short of a Charles Martel with its speed boost online. Her torpedo armament does pack a bit more punch than Zara's. She graduates from triple tube launchers to quadruple ones, one on each side of the ship. These torpedoes are the same as her immediate predecessor, and because of the extra tube, the launcher does reload a little slower. AA-wise, let's have a look at her A suite here. It looks pretty decent, right? It's hard to judge this stuff right now. For now, let's just kind of sum it up by saying her long-range aura looks pretty solid, her mid-range aura is unquestionably worse in tier, and her short-range aura is fairly average. I just reading AA on the PTS right now with all the other things in flux is almost impossible, but I do not expect AA to be a strong point of these ships. For consumables, no change here from Zara 1 tier down. Of course, we're packing damage control party, full throttle smoke, and a choice between catapult fighter or spotting aircraft. If you want more details on the full throttle smoke, go check out the video on Montecuccoli. That's tier 5. There is one change here. The full throttle smoke generator now lasts 40 seconds when you activate it, rather than 25. So the tier 5, 6, and 7 cruisers that have the full throttle smoke, that has a 25-second duration. And the high tier cruisers, the 8, 9, 10 that have this smoke, have it at a 40-second duration. Anyway, guys, there you go. That's a quick look at Amalfi. I hope you enjoyed that. Keep watching. I'll have the videos for Brindisi and Venezia up very shortly. Be safe out there, and I'll catch you next time.